IDC warns U.S. tariffs could cut global IT spending in half. Trump's tariffs could double consumer tech prices in the U.S. And Hyundai Motor Group is to purchase tens of thousands of robots to integrate into their manufacturing. Welcome to #Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. The research firm IDC says that new U.S. tariffs could slash global IT spending by as much as 50% in the next 6 months. The warning follows the U.S. government's announcement of fresh tariffs, which are expected to raise prices, delay projects, and disrupt tech supply chains. In a statement, IDC said that it's updating its forecasts and preparing for a downside scenario that includes possible retaliation from other countries. Our March 31st forecast of 10% growth for global IT spending will be reduced significantly in April based on the tariff announcements of April 2nd, the group said. And IDC further said that the impact could be fast and widespread, especially for hardware and IT services. Companies may hold off on purchases, delay upgrades, or even cut budgets. Tech stocks have already reacted, with Apple, Amazon, Meta, and Nvidia all falling more than 5 to 6% after the announcements. If trade tensions escalate further and trigger a global recession, IDC warns the results could be the worst hit to IT markets since the 2008 financial crisis. Businesses are advised to prepare for cost increases and project delays. Diversifying suppliers and building flexibility into IT budgets might help soften the blow. On April 2nd, U.S. President Trump announced a 10% universal tariff on all imports, with specific tariffs targeting certain countries. These specific tariffs included a 34% tariff on Chinese goods, with those from Vietnam subject to a 46% tariff. These measures are expected to disrupt supply chains and increase production costs for many technology companies. But will they have the desired effect and move production back to the U.S.? Most analysts agree, given the complexity of the supply chain and the time it would take to find the factories and get the skilled workers, this will not happen at any time in the conceivable future. And analysts predict substantial price increases for popular consumer electronics. For instance, the price of an iPhone could rise anywhere from approximately $1,200 US to over $2,300 US due to tariffs on Chinese imports. And while Apple has shifted some production to India, that country still has a 26% tariff. Plus, a substantial amount of the components of an iPhone are from China and a network of other countries subject to punitive tariffs. Predictions for Android phones are less than for iPhones, but still expected to rise several $100s in their U.S. pricing. And for gaming, a recent one being the Nintendo Switch 2, which I think is made in Vietnam, which is why I mentioned the Vietnamese tariff earlier, that's initially priced at $449 US. And that might see price adjustments to offset increased production and tariff costs. So in response to these tariffs, companies are reassessing their manufacturing and sales strategies, although production is part of an intricate supply chain that's planned years in advance and not easily reconstructed. Nintendo's not only talking about changing the pricing, but they've had to delay pre-orders for the Switch 2. The company stated that pre-orders for Nintendo Switch in the U.S. will not start until April 9th, 2025, in order to assess the potential impact of tariffs and evolving market conditions. While U.S. consumers face potential price increases and product delays, ironically, some of the countries that Trump has also targeted, such as Canada and the European Union, will be less affected by these tariffs. As a result, consumers in these regions may not only enjoy current pricing, but may for once get preferential availability for these products, given that their tariff structures are pretty stable. All in all, tariffs have sparked frustration among U.S. consumers, particularly gamers anticipating new releases. One Nintendo fan expressed their dissatisfaction online, stating, "This is the worst president in U.S. history." The Trump administration better find a way to save TikTok, or there goes the youth vote. And even if tariffs can get companies to build factories in the U.S., How many human jobs will be in those factories when they're built? We did a story a few days ago that said that Honda is ready to reduce its auto manufacturing staff by 30% using existing single-purpose robot technology and AI. Now, Hyundai Motor Group plans to purchase tens of thousands of robots from its subsidiary, Boston Dynamics, to enhance automation across its automotive factories. This large-scale deployment aims to integrate advanced robotics into Hyundai's manufacturing processes, potentially increasing efficiency and productivity. So in addition to acquiring robots, Hyundai intends to support Boston Dynamics' growth by integrating its manufacturing capabilities with its robotics firm's operations. This collaboration could lead to advancements in robot technologies and their applications within industrial settings, particularly manufacturing. Boston Dynamics, known for developing dynamic, highly mobile robots like Spot and Atlas, became part of Hyundai Motor Group in December 2020. Since the acquisition, Hyundai has been actively incorporating robotic solutions into its operations with a real push towards the ultimate in automation of automotive manufacturing. Okay, don't accuse me of being political. I want to ask this really nicely. Here's the question. What if we've crashed the global economy to bring back jobs to factories in the US that will no longer exist because of automation and robotics? And I'm not raising this as a criticism, but a question. And I'd love to hear your opinions. No politics, please. Whatever you think is right politically, I'm not out to change your mind. But I am interested in your opinions on how we can cope with decisions that are largely being made for us. And finally, I realize these are emotional times for everybody, politically, economically, whatever. But if I could add one piece of advice that I'm trying to learn to take myself, reach out to those you love, let them know. If you get frustrated by people you don't agree with or you think are even stupid, that's okay. Take a breath, and then if you must argue, try to do it rationally. But most of all, every day, find one person, give them a smile or an act of kindness. And if you see somebody who's really, really being stressed out by this, maybe just sit and listen. Ultimately, our future might be tied to technology and economics, but most of us can't control the decisions that relate to those. What we can control is our humanity and how we make that work. An iconic Canadian comedian, Red Green, used to say, "We're all in this together." And on that note, and I mean this, have a terrific Tuesday.